I'd just like to quickly mention at the start of this video that I'm now on Patreon, where from $2 a month you can help support me create more content along the lines of this video. Your support will be greatly appreciated. To find out more, why not follow the links in the video description today and find out what exclusive perks you can receive. Hey everybody, today I'm off to Morioka and I'm going to be looking for some games for Game Boy and Super Famicom. Those are the two systems which I pick the odd game up for in Japan. I want to limit the amount of stuff that I'm actually picking up here. So it's quite a long drive, 2 hours to Morioka from here in Miyako, and yeah, it's a really stunning drive, so let's get going. So for those of you unaware, I moved to Japan about 3 months ago now, and I'm living up in the Iwate prefecture in Miyako. I'm working as an English language assistant teacher at the moment, and it's all going pretty well. So, but where I live is actually very rural, and the nearest big city to me is Morioka, which is a good 2-hour drive up an amazing mountain pass. As you can see, the scenery is awesome. What I'm looking out for today is primarily stuff for the Super Famicom and the Game Boy, potentially including Game Boy Color and maybe the odd bit of Game Boy Advance, but essentially limiting to just those systems. And the reason for that is that I expect to move around Japan whilst I'm actually living here, and having just moved from my apartment in the UK 3 months ago and knowing just how much effort it took to actually move out of there, I don't want to be repeating it anytime soon. So I want to travel pretty light really, and that means that I'm not actually overly fussed about whether the games are boxed or not. There are a couple of games which I will look out for boxed copies for whilst I'm in Japan, but I'm in no real hurry because they're pretty commonplace games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI, for example. So today I'm heading to a few places in Morioka. I did expect to go to more, but the second place I went to was so epic that I ended up spending about 3 hours in there and still didn't see it all. So, but as you can see, the scenery between Miyako and Morioka is just absolutely stunning. They're actually building a new expressway that's going to remove most of the journey through this amazing landscape, which is a little bit of a shame, but I suppose I could still take the old road if I wanted to. But it is a stunning drive, there's no doubt about it. Anyway, so just coming into Morioka now, and this is the best book off as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to film a lot in the store because the games are actually right next to the checkout, and I felt a little bit ominous just stood there filming with my phone. So, but these were the prime games that I saw in there, which I did manage to get a little bit of footage of. You can see there's some actually quite rare titles for the Super Famicom here. But don't worry, the main event, which I managed to film in full, is coming up, so you're not going to miss anything. So I'm just going to do a little quick recording here, just because I need to obviously make the most of my time that I'm actually here in Morioka. And also, it's swelteringly hot inside this car, and I've got the windows rolled up at the minute, just to reduce the road noise. Yeah, picked up some really nice stuff. I'll show you this properly when I record stuff at home. But there is one real epic bargain in here, which I will save for later. But you can't go wrong with a copy of Donkey Kong Country 2 for 110 yen. It's actually 100 yen, but obviously 10% tax. There's a couple of boxed Game Boy Color games in here, so I'm gonna save those for later on as well. But there was one particular game for the Super Famicom which I didn't come out looking for, but actually definitely fits the bill. So, but it's turned out to be a super bargain. So, yeah. So let's go on to the next little stop. So the drive to Yoruzo-ya isn't too far from this branch of Book Off here in Morioka. It's just about a 10-minute drive. But you'll find as soon as the footage starts, we're straight on into the Super Famicom rare and valuable loose cartridges. There were a few items in this cabinet that were potentially on my pickup list, but owing to the price of them and my budget, I decided to pass them, but it was very nice to see them nonetheless. For example, this copy of Demon's Blazon, known as Demon's Crest, in some other regions from Capcom. It was a superb game, but that would have been over half my budget gone straight away. So, but there were also some other games which are very much celebrated on the Super Famicom and Super Nintendo, such as Super Pang, which has an excellent port on the system, but again I just passed on it. Also, a copy of Super Aleste did look very interesting to me. It's actually not too badly priced. This is known as Space Megaforce in some regions and is one of the Super Famicom's best shooters, but given that I've got a PC Engine, I'm not short of a few shmups. The cabinet to the next of it was all Famicom stuff, both box soft and also loose cartridges. I'm not exactly a Famicom specialist by any stretch of the imagination. I only know some of the more well-known titles, and that also goes for the Nintendo Entertainment System or the NES. Just because I grew up with the Commodore 64 and the Amiga, it's just not something I'm very familiar with. But I did spot this boxed copy of Downtown Neketsu Monogatari, which is known as River City Ransom in the West, not badly priced either, and that is a superb game. Star Parodia here, boxed for the PC Engine. I didn't actually see the price though, so sorry about that, but some very nice things in this cabinet, including a nice boxed Famicom disk system there, and also some pre-Master System Sega stuff, of which I know nothing about. Round to the back of these cabinets was some more rare stuff, Final Fantasy 1 and 2 remake for the Super Famicom there, and then a whole cabinet full of boxed, rare and valuable Super Famicom stuff. Owing to the amount of stuff that was in the store, I didn't actually get a chance to really look through this cabinet properly and read some of the katakana and hiragana that I can read. Kanji is still beyond me, but there were some very nice games in here. Just so awesome seeing so much wonderful software. There was a copy of Captain Commando here, commanding a premium, shall we say. But there are also lots of other reasonably affordable games such as Super Mario Kart in excellent conditions and the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remakes from Enix for the Super Famicom there. Live Alive, another good JRPG for the Super Famicom, quite expensive though. And also this one here, Axelay, another great shooter for the Super Famicom, but maybe I'll talk about that in the next video. But yes, quite expensive boxed. And Rockman, or Mega Man as you may know it in the West, is very plentiful in Japan. And then lots of loose Game Gear and Wonderswan stuff. These Wonderswan black and white consoles were very appealing, 2,000 yen a piece, but I did pass, but maybe one day it'll be a system I look up more. And also some nice games here, some for Wonderswan Colour, such as Inuyasha Kagome no Yume Nikki, apparently quite a good game and very well priced. And yes, and then we're on to the Famicom loose cartridges. Again, what I said before goes, I'm not a Famicom expert, but everything's arranged alphabetically insofar as obviously the Japanese hiragana alphabet inverted commas goes, and just tons of stuff here. Although I have to say these cartridges do look very appealing in their various colours. Obviously I could spot the well-known titles such as Super Mario Bros. 3 and the Rockman titles, for example, but yes, I didn't really spend a lot of time looking at these because Famicom is not something I'm really collecting for or know something a great deal about, but I hope you enjoy what's captured here. Maybe you'll spot something that you think, I'm looking for that. And lots of box software as well, so, and looks to be in pretty good condition actually considering its age. PC Engine, nice rack of stuff here from loose Hue cards, Super CD-ROM titles, box Hue cards titles, accessories, and also some systems. These Avenue free pads look in pretty good condition, but slightly pricey at 3,000 yen a piece, but yeah, good pads nonetheless. And also Shinobi there for the PC Engine boxed. You've also got Splatterhouse there. The multi-taps were pretty well priced, and you've got PC Engine there, also known as Aerozonk in the West, and 2 copies of it in fact, so a nice shooter for the system. A nice selection of HuCard box software, including Load Runner, which I never even knew came out for the PC Engine, so yeah, I'll have to look up how that's received on the PC Engine. I was mighty tempted by this copy of Fantasy Zone though. but I passed on it this time. But if it's still there when I go back, I will probably pick that one up. Bomberman 94, the best version for the PC Engine in my book, quite well priced. Nice loose PC Engine there, good condition as well actually. And some more complete systems there with controllers and RF modulators. And then onto Mega Drive, where we've got loose cartridges, a couple of 32X games, some accessories including controllers, but the Mega Drive was never as popular in Japan as it was in the West, so it's quite expensive here to collect for. Got a nice copy of Outrun here for 4,000 yen. Very tempting, but my Mega Drive's back in the UK. And also New Zealand story, quite an interesting version. This is, it's based on a prototype of the Taito Classic, so yeah, be interested to play that one day. Thunder Force, what a series, and Thunder Force 3, excellent, absolutely superb title. And also these wonderful box copies. Oh, what was it called again? That was it. So no, it's not that. Sonic. I love the Japanese Sonic box art. It really evokes that time of when design was transitioning from that late 80s look to early 90s look, particularly exemplified with this Mega Drive 2 box and original Mega Drive there. Curiously, less expensive. And then some Game Boy Pockets and a Game Boy Color there, some loose manuals, and also some empty boxes as well. So if you have loose cartridges or maybe a copy which is lacking a manual, good to have a look through. And a little handful of accessories there. Yeah, pretty decent condition systems. These Game Boy Colors look pretty nice, and I do like these emerald green Game Boy Pockets. And then onto the Game Boy and Game Boy Color software. Oh my god. This place was seriously giving the shops that I went to in Akihabara in Tokyo a run for their money. Seiken Densetsu, the first game that came out for the Game Boy there. GRANDIA, Parallel Trippers, sort of a follow-on from GRANDIA. All of the Super Mario Land games for the Game Boy there. And you also had a Urusei Yatsura game for the Game Boy there. Not one that I knew that came out. Apparently not brilliant, but Contra there, very good on the Game Boy. Not badly priced. And also Dracula Densetsu 2, which is Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge. Again, pretty well priced. Nice game. And also plenty of Ranma 1/2 games, yay! And Rockman titles. I wouldn't mind picking up Rockman 5. Mole Mania, superb little Game Boy puzzler. So one of Miyamoto's lesser known games. Oh, and a great copy of Kunio-kun Bangai Rantohen, which is known as Double Dragon 2 in the West. Boxed as well, quite a nice title. Donkey Kong, yeah, that's a great game on the Game Boy. And Super Famicom loose cartridges. Well, the Famicom stuff went on for miles, but this stuff was just out of this world. You can see that Donkey Kong Country 2 here was indeed more expensive. So a good pick up in Book Off there. And Super Swiv. I can't remember whether this is as good or not actually on the Super Famicom, but not a title you see often. Super Metroid there, Soul Blazer. And you also had Street Racer, a really good kart racer for the system. If you like Mario Kart, you'll like Street Racer. Plenty of Romancing Saga, Rockman. Yeah, you won't struggle to find Rockman X and Rockman X2 and Rockman 7 here. Lots of Ranma games as well, so yeah, plenty of that. As well as the Ranma 1/2 RPG and the Puzzler game. And then we have some of the rare Game Gear, Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance stuff, including Pokemon Crystal there, quite a nice copy. I didn't look through this fully, I was beginning to get quite tired by this stage, I was overwhelmed, and look at all this loose Game Boy Advance stuff, just amazing, and all this pristine looking box Game Boy Advance software, just stunning to see. And then on to PlayStation, the original PlayStation, just on and on and on. Some really good titles here. Some great Final Fantasy games there, and also this little rare beastie FIFA World Cup 98. Puyo Puyo 2 there, which I've got. Akamajo Dracula X, which is still quite expensive in Japan. You're looking at 4,500 yen or so. And lots of GameCube box soft there. Something I don't know a huge amount about is the GameCube, as I moved on from gaming by that stage. But yes, nice Game Boy player here. And also some box systems with Game Boy players. So if you want to play your Game Boy Advance software on your GameCube, that's what you need. Loads of N64 stuff, including box soft. Again, not a system I know a huge amount, as I was using a PlayStation by this stage. But some of you are big N64 fans, so I will come back and look through this properly at some point. And then these cabinets were just full of lots of interesting trinkets, Neo Geo, PSP stuff and so forth. Lots of Game Boy Advance SPs in here. There's a Game Boy Light there, lots of Neo Geo pockets, some of the Game & Watch systems, complete Neo Geo systems, Neo Geo CDs, and AES there. Not cheap though, some things never change. And yeah, some nice Game Boy pockets boxed there. Yeah, you can see all those Game & Watch systems there, Game Boy Micros there, and a nice box core graphics up there. Box Dreamcast, not overly expensive I don't think, particularly for that boxed copy there. A few bits of PCFX and also some 3DO stuff, so that looked to be a very nice 3DO system there, almost looked new in fact. Another 3DO there, as well as some nicely packaged Sega Saturn systems there. That's mighty tempting actually. 4,000 yen, nice looking system. Lots of Sega Saturn box soft, loads of the Evangelion stuff. After all, Asuka did play the Saturn in the anime, King of Fighters 97 there, as well as X-Men vs Street Fighter there, which is worth that all day long. A system I'm very interested in, it has to be said. Some Proteus there. Yeah, it's just, I didn't know where to begin looking really, to be honest with you. And so we begin to finish this video. Lots of Super Famicom box soft. By this stage I was absolutely exhausted. I had just seen so much in the store and I could have spent another 3 hours in the store easily, but after 3 hours I just had to take a rest. So I'm going to show you my pickups in the next video, which is going to follow after this. So I hope you've enjoyed touring this store. I know that I have, and I guess that all remains for me to say is see you soon. Peace. So it's come to that part of the video where I mention that I'm on Patreon. From as little as $2 a month, you can get early access to content, exclusive artwork through the post, your name mentioned on videos, as well as tips that I don't publish to the public. You can find a link in the video description below. Your subscription to my channel will also help me ensure that I can bring the latest content here from Japan.